Happy holidays for this special edition of Alternative News. Disclosure would unseat the establishment, aka the Cabal. Tonight we will talk about this and how it relates to what's going on right now. I also have some interesting videos that we'll take a look at, including actual footage of the U.S. Army attacking a UFO in California way back in 1942, but it's actual footage I think you'll find interesting. But to begin, we're going to start by taking a look at this video. It was taken in 2014 in Virginia, and well, here, let's watch it together now. Just give me a moment to pull it up for you.
He's got a fish. I don't know why he turned around. Okay, I know this is a departure from my normal type of videos, but you know, it is what it is, and what it is I'm not sure, so I'm going to let you guys decide. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded. I was videotaping an osprey bird that had just caught a fish, and all I had was my iPhone. And what happened was, later on, I was reviewing it in slow motion to see if I could see the fish that the bird had caught, when I saw this object dart by from left to right, and you can see that in the beginning of the video. And basically what you're seeing here is just screenshots that I took, and I changed the temperature of the image just to highlight it more. And you know, it looks almost like the stereotypical 1950s UFO. Yes, there are some military bases nearby. It could have been a bug, could have been a bird, could have been an alien ship, could have been a drone or a military plane. I'm not sure. What do you think?
I found that pretty interesting. That was pretty good. And he mentioned that it was in the area of several military bases. And I'm going to pull a picture up for you guys here in a moment. Let me just get it for you. And the area that I believe that he would be talking about would be this area here, Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, and just to the north of it and just to the south of it are two Navy bases. So it's kind of surrounded by naval bases. So that would be kind of my guess as to at least the area that he was talking about there. And it was kind of interesting there to watch that. And then here's an interesting video of a private UFO researcher in Denver, and we'll watch that now, and then I've got something else to share related to this.
Keep going up and up and up.
It's not a plane.
Here it's flipping around.
Even this aviation expert is mystified.
I can't identify it.
We first learned about these strange sightings when this metro area man, who does not want to be identified, brought us his home video.
You're going to see a little burst of fire right there, kind of a thruster.
He captured the images on his digital camera from a hilltop in Federal Heights, looking south towards downtown Denver.
Mile High is right about here.
He says the flying objects appear around noon or 1 p.m. at least a couple of times a week.
You're going to see it come in from the top, do a little loopy-doop.
The strangest part is they are flying too fast to see with the naked eye. This is the video in real time.
Poof, see it? That was it.
But if you slow it down frame by frame, it's there. We altered the color contrast to help you see it. Here's another one in real time. This is what it looks like slowed down. We wanted to verify that the video we saw was legit, so our photojournalist came out here with his camera. He set up in the same spot on 84th and Federal, and he shot video from just before noon until just after 1. And when we slowed down our photographer's video, we saw this flying object.
I would consider myself an expert.
Aviation expert Steve Cowell is a former commercial pilot, instructor, and FAA accident prevention counselor.
It's very strange.
He thought he would have a logical explanation until he watched the video.
That is not an airplane. That is not a helicopter. Those are not birds. I can't identify it.
Cowell told us he knows of no aircraft that flies as fast.
Because of the speed of the object, most people, I think, would miss it.
Cowell did say there is one other possibility.
Perhaps there's some sort of debris that's being raised up by some of the atmospheric winds.
But in his professional opinion,
as it fits the definition, it's an unidentified flying object.
The FAA tracks all air traffic in Colorado and across the country. The FAA sent us a statement saying, "We've checked with air traffic control and no one has had any reports of the activity you describe, nor have any of our employees observed anything of this nature either visually or on their radar displays." The North American Aerospace Defense Command is located in Colorado Springs. It keeps an eye on the skies in case of an air attack against the U.S. NORAD sent us this statement. Our command center reviewed their records and they did not have any noted air activity in the Denver area during the times you indicated.
There's the smokestack.
The man who first brought this to our attention believes the UFOs are launching and landing near 56th and Clay in Denver.
And I apologize, I meant to have the lower third, the text that's scrolling across, still visible during that, so you could still read the text, but that's okay. So you heard the gentleman there in Denver. He's a private UFO researcher, and he was talking about some of the research that he was doing. He seemed a little bit reluctant. At the very end, they mentioned a location. They mentioned a location. We're going to take a look now at that location on Google Earth. So, and here it is. 56th Ave and Clay they mentioned in Denver. So this is Denver, Colorado here, and you can see this is the only 56th and Clay in Denver, and it's West 56th Ave and Clay Street. It's in the area of a bunch of I wouldn't know if I would say construction sites, but it looks like there might be some farmland, but it looks like there's areas where they have like quarries, construction quarries, where it's a construction site, but it's also like a quarry where they might be doing some work. And you can see a location here that looks like one of those quarries, and then there's another one here that looks similar. And so a lot of work. Looks like big industrial areas, and then you can see residential areas here. Hard to imagine where a UFO would take off out of, other than those large construction areas. You have this here, it looks like a lake, and it's very odd the way there's trees around it. We've heard stories of UFOs coming in and out of the water, out of the ocean and stuff, and then but not far from this area, you can see the mountains and the hills and stuff, and it gets real remote not far from that area. So I just wanted to show that real quick. and I thought it was interesting to look at the area. And so this is the area where the gentleman was saying that the spaceships that he was filming that we just watched were taking off from and landing. However, it looked like in one of the videos that he actually was showing, he mentioned Mile High. I could have misunderstood or misheard him, but it sounded like he mentioned Mile High, that he was filming one of these things flying, maybe in that area. So my point is that, you know, the location that we were just looking at just happened to be where he was saying that they take off and land, but that's not necessarily where people always see them. It's just where they take off and land, so people might see them in other locations. So that was kind of interesting to look at. Coming up next, I have some information, and we'll talk about disclosure, which would unseat the establishment, aka the Cabal, and we're going to talk about all of that. Disclosure would expose the truth that would set humanity free. This truth is everything we know, and the very way we think has been corrupted by lies and materialism on purpose by the Cabal for control. So that's the truth that I'm talking about now. For example, the idea that these spiritual beings are physical, or that these beings closely related to humanity are, quote, alien, are examples of fundamental lies used to mind control the masses. Everything is the opposite of what they present. If they present spiritual beings as physical, and masses of people believe this one simple lie, they thereby gain a degree of control, mind control, over the masses believing the lie. In the case of the spiritual beings being presented as physical aliens, some of these spiritual beings can manifest or appear physical. We will talk more about the Cabal and who they are in a moment. First, the Cabal has not only stripped humanity of true fundamental knowledge, but now they're trying to strip away her will and our freedom, to the point that we live in a completely mechanistic world where freedom and spirituality are killed off. And they have been successful at weakening the minds, wills, and spirits of humanity to the extent that most of humanity is unable to even understand the nature of these spiritual beings. For example, for more information about the spiritual beings that inhabit both Earth as well as other planets in space, I'm going to pull something up for you guys on the screen. Just give me a second here. I'm working alone tonight. So you can visit the Rudolf Steiner Archive YouTube channel, and you can access the largest collection of secret knowledge and teachings suppressed by the Cabal and otherwise unavailable. Rudolf Steiner's teachings are spiritual science centered on Christ, who in the Bible has two sets of teachings. The Gospels describe Christ teaching the public one set of teachings, and it describes it as kind of like feeding babies, a more watered down set of teachings, while saving secret, more advanced spiritual teachings for just his closest disciples. And that's described in the Bible. Last, let's talk about the Cabal. Internationally, it's known as the Cabal. But in the United States, the Cabal controls the deep state shadow government. The Cabal has always ruled by dividing people through religion and politics, lies, and spreading materialism. Because materialism is what kills the spirit or spirituality. Brad Johnson, retired CIA, has been talking about Italy now also interfering in our 2020 presidential elections. Let me get rid of that promo picture. And so it's interesting because they previously, I think it's John Radcliffe, Director of National Intelligence, Director. He was saying the same thing, but he was saying that he saw evidence that there was interference by Russia, China, and Iran. And now Brad Johnson is digging up information and evidence related to interference in Italy, and that Rome had a hand in the manipulation of Dominion machines online via military encrypted satellite transmissions. So they were monitoring the whole thing, and they had the means and the ability to manipulate and change things and affect the outcome of the election. I'll leave a link in the description for Brad Johnson's channel. I'll also leave a link in the description for the Rudolf Steiner Archive and John D'Souza's YouTube channel. And you could watch Brad Johnson talk about Italy and Rome and interference in the elections if you want. And you can learn about the spiritual science on the Rudolf Steiner Archive YouTube channel. And John D'Souza, retired FBI, also gets into how what people call aliens aren't physical beings. And I just watched an interview with John where he's talking about how Trump didn't concede, and John D'Souza's saying he knows Trump will remain president and that Trump will be backed by the U.S. military and martial law if necessary. Now the cabal is using the Democratic Party to destroy America, the only thing that's protecting freedom. So there's really only one thing, left in the cabal's way of what they want to do, and that's the fundamental principles that the founding fathers gave us in our Constitution and this country. Once this is gone, that's it, folks. That is it. They lie about everything. The International Space Station is in low Earth orbit. It's not in space. The SpaceX spacecraft cannot go to space. They wouldn't make it past the Van Allen belt. They would be destroyed. NASA claims it lost all of its data and equipment related to the successful lunar missions, and especially related to getting past the Van Allen belt. And to date, they say it still hasn't been found. They still haven't found any of it. NASA admits it has no way through or around the Van Allen belt. Yet now they're claiming they will land the first female on the moon by 2024, in less than 3 years. So, that's what they're talking about in the news and in the media. NASA's latest drumbeat is, we're landing a woman on the moon by 2024. But what they're not talking about, but if you do the research you can find out about, is that they don't have the means. They lost all the data, excuse me, and the equipment related to the successful missions. So, and then I just wanted to, people don't understand who the cabal is. The cabal is comprised of your George Soroses, Obama, Brennan, Clinton, and Bill Gates types. Alright, let me get myself together here for the last part of the show. Coming up next, I have proof ET UFOs aren't exactly physical. I have actual footage, and we're going to take a look at that in a moment. Now, yes, there's this program and there to reverse engineer or to create or build UFOs by the U.S. military industrial complex. I'm aware of that, and I'm aware that we have some that we've built. They are physical, but they are ours. So when I refer to UFOs as being non-physical, I'm referring to ET UFOs, not human-made UFOs. And so, in 1942, the U.S. Army attacked a UFO that flew over L.A., California. Let's watch that together now. Do I have it? So they just attacked this this UFO after it flew over LA and California, and they attacked it for a long time, and they were unable to hurt this thing. So let's watch it now. It just took off.
Was intercepted command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach. Searchlights closely followed the object down the coast and kept it centered in their threat. Shells frequently could be seen bursting near the object, but none appeared to hit it. The shooting stopped about 3:30 a.m. Approximately 20 minutes after the firing died down, the ship returned and headed westward from Long Beach toward Santa Monica. The guns went into action again, throwing round after round of shells at the object. The second barrage appeared to be closer to downtown Los Angeles, since watchers could hear the concussion of the guns more clearly, and the flash of bursting shells was brighter. Then the ship disappeared for the second time over the ocean. We return you now to CBS in New York. That was Byron Palmer on the West Coast.
The Battle of L.A. was the first time that our military actually fired upon a UFO. The next day, the military told the press it was nothing but a weather balloon. Another report was that they fired at nothing due to war nerves. The Army was not too pleased with these reports. If they could not bring down a weather balloon with almost 1,500 rounds fired and direct hits, then what would they be able to do firing at real enemy targets? This was the first time official denial was put into motion regarding UFOs.
And I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.